欢迎来到用英语讲中国故事大课堂。Welcome to Stories of China retold in English. Okay, so now we've done some detailed reading of this story. Today we are going to retell the whole story, and please listen up. We are about to start. In order to introduce a historical celebrity smoothly, we need to keep key elements of him or her in mind and then organize our sentences. So first, here's an activity based on some key elements of Confucius. Where three men work together, I can learn from one. 6 elements of a story are who, where, when, what, why, and how. 首先呢，我们通过第一个活动去进行一个故事主要信息的回忆。Activity 1 begins. Who 可以表示孔子身份信息的词汇。Thinker, teacher, educator, philosopher. When 文章中和课程当中提到的和孔子年纪相关的短语或者表达。In his 30s, in his 50s. Where 孔子离开鲁国去了哪儿呢？Traveled around the various states in China. How? 面对言之有理的小男孩，孔子的态度是 humble. What? 面对言之有理的小男孩，孔子最后选择了 give way to the castle. Why? 通过这个故事，我们要认识到别人的 strong points or merits. Okay, let's try to use all these phrases to make sentences.Who? Confucius was a great thinker, teacher, and a philosopher of ancient China. When? Confucius was already famous in his 30s. In his 50s, he was appointed Minister of Justice in his home state of Lu, the highest judicial position among the ministers of that state. Where? Confucius traveled around various states in China.How? Confucius' attitude towards the boy was humble. What? Confucius gave way to the little boy and the castle he made. Why? Wherever there are 3 men together, one of them may be superior to me. If we modestly learn from other strong points, we will continuously improve ourselves. 接下来呢，我们再通过第2个活动，结合语法和故事情节进行 true or false 判断。当然，我们今天学的语法主要就是一个主被动语态。来，我们开始进入 Activity 2。第一个问题，孔子是被迫离开鲁国的吗？让我们来看一下原文。这里注意啊 ，was forced to leave， 所以这道题是表示被迫离开，我们选择 true。第2道题。孔子的车驾是主动停下来的吗？让我们来看一下原文。我们可以看到啊，这里有 The way was blocked， 这里是因为路被堵住，被迫停下，所以这道题是 false。第3题，面对拦路的孩子，孔子被迫下车去交谈吗？让我们来看一下这里的原文啊。这里原文肯定是说，看到学生不耐烦呢，孔子主动去和幼童进行交谈。那所以这里选的是 false。第4题啊，在与幼童交谈之后呢，孔子被迫让路了吗？让我们来看一下原文。好，我们可以看到这里原文显示的其实就是孔子呢觉得幼童言之有理，所以就主动回去之后跟自己的弟子说，咱们让路吧。所以这是一个主动的状态，所以这道题选 false。第5题，孔子主动与学生们分享了自己的感悟吗？让我们来看一下原文。很明显的是啊，面对比较困惑的弟子呢，孔子就会去分享了一下幼童值得学习的地方，所以这道题选 true。第6题，孔子被后世所崇敬吗？我们来看一下原文啊，这道题简直就是送分题。好 ，He is also revered worldwide。revere 复习一下是尊重的意思，所以这道题肯定是选 true。Can easily figure all 6 questions out in a short time because we have read the story with intensive reading. 接下来呢，我们就将2个活动所得的信息进行一下整理。Confucius was a great thinker, teacher, and philosopher of ancient China who was a man of immense learning. He started to travel with his disciples around all states in China when he was forced to leave Lu. When the way was blocked by some young boys, he communicated with them humbly and even gave way to them since he realized he should learn from the boys' strong points. Besides using the 6 elements of the story, we should also utilize our logical connectors to help us retell a story, especially when the story is organized in time order or sequenced order. Following are some frequently used words and expressions.
First of all, at last, at this time, next, previously, simultaneously, eventually, last but not least, to begin with, to end with, finally, since then, afterwards, following this, preceding this, prior to this.
Okay, I think you have finished your notes, or you can just have a screenshot of these words. We will not use them all. Instead, we will pick some of them according to the order and logic of the story. Let's begin. On the way of his wide wanderings, Confucius' wagon was stopped since the road was blocked by some young boys who were playing bricks. First, Confucius sent one of his disciples to solve the situation, but ended up with negative response. Noticing another disciple might be impatient, Confucius then decided to figure it out himself. Next, he asked those young boys what they were doing. After knowing the boys were building a castle, Confucius stated his request, whether they were willing to give way to his wagon. One boy refuted by saying, there was never a castle giving way to a wagon in this world, but wagons always changing routes when facing castles. At this time, Confucius felt the boy was logically right and then bowed to the boy, even expressed his respect humbly. Finally, Confucius came back and asked his disciples to drive round the obstruction. Last but not least, as a teacher, Confucius explained to his puzzled disciples that the young boy was worth learning from, because he could figure out a logical relationship behind a wagon yielding to a castle. 人物和故事情节都复述完了，那么就剩下故事所带来的启示了。让我们来尝试一下。
Confucius is revered worldwide not only for his immense wisdom, but also for his humble attitude towards learning. We all should learn from him and the story. We should always be humble in front of anyone we meet, not only because people are unique and have their own shining points, but also they can help us revise some similar demerits.
2000多年前啊，孔子就领悟了这么深刻的道理，生活在现代社会的我们更加要谦逊的学习和工作。Voila, we're almost done. Now, do you have a basic understanding of how to retell a story about a famous historical person and the story behind him? First,
we should briefly introduce this person with 5 W's, 1 H.
首先，先利用故事的6元素对文章的主人公或者大概情节进行总结。就像三人行这个故事啊，咱们可以先介绍孔子和主要情节，先梳理出基本故事脉络之后呢，再对其他细节进行填充。Secondly,
retell the specific story by using sequential connectors.
随后呢，再利用顺序性连接词呢，去讲好一个故事。讲好一个故事，只有大纲，那肯定是不精彩的。为了让故事更加生动，我们可以按照故事发展的顺序或者时间顺序进行复述。那么就有同学提问了，我们怎么快速找出我要的信息呢？最直接的方法就是在文章中划出与6大元素相关的信息。还有一个思路可以参考啊，不管是什么人物，关于他身份的描述都是一定要记下来的。其次，他的人生大事件肯定都是要提到的。就比如说，我们提到了孔子离开鲁国后的周游列国，这是很多精彩故事的源头之一，自然是非常重要的。故事的主要情节呢，肯定有起因、经过和结果。那三人行这个故事当中，起因就是道路被小孩子挡住，经过呢，主要就是孔子和小孩对话的过程，包括这个故事的一个道理。结果呢，就是这个故事所带来的影响。那现在我们已经总结完毕了，你想不想试着来总结一下呢？ Looking forward your story. See you next time. Bye bye.